everyone. This is Sean from Fiskerati. Welcome to Fiskerati Live. I'm your host, and we have an action-packed show for you tonight, like we did last week and maybe the week before. So we're gonna start off by introducing our two co-hosts that we have that you see on the screen. We have Jim from OSR Garage and Matt from Tesla Tips. Hello, guys. How are you doing tonight?
Hello.
Doing
How's it going?
Good. Excellent. Yeah, this is fun. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to go through tonight. So we'll see kind of how things go. Our agenda, we got we're basically talking about the Fisker Ocean. It's like the midweek recap. We're going to go through all the stuff that has happened since last Wednesday. Since we did this, we do this once a week on Wednesday about 6 o'clock. So we're going to kind of do a recap, go over all the stuff that's happened, and a lot has happened. We're going to talk about the latest Henrik Fisker interview. I was lucky enough to interview him on Thursday, so I pulled a couple of sound bites and clips that we'll discuss, some new tidbits that he shared. We're going to talk about the East Coast debut of the Fisker Ocean, and then we're going to talk about the Milken Institute Prostate Cancer Foundation event. And then we're going to roll right into our observations from the Brooklyn pop-up event at Domino Park. And there's a lot of observations that we're going to go through, so that should be quite fun. And then we're going to talk about something latest and greatest from today. We got a video of Henrik doing a pilot test in the Fisker Ocean over in Detroit. So we will check that out. And then we're going to talk about the stock, the Fisker share price at $9 right now. What's up? I don't know. We'll figure it out together. And then we're going to take your questions live. So that's what we're talking about today. And just to start off, if you haven't already subscribed to OSR Garage, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed to Tesla Tips, go ahead and do that. And then the same here, if you haven't subscribed to the Fiskerati YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Thank you very much. So, okay, let's get the show on the road here. So we did an interview with Henrik Fisker on Thursday of last week. It was the first interview we've done. And it brought us a lot of good information, some that we already knew and some new stuff. And I want to roll a clip. We actually got 3 clips we're going to roll. We'll roll each one and we'll talk about it. This one I thought was actually kind of interesting, and it was probably one of the biggest takeaways, and it'll kind of dovetail maybe into what we're going to talk about next, which is pop-up locations and things like that. So let's take a look here.
We're still a small team, and what we are waiting for is really to get some of these first production intent vehicles, which I hope we'll get. We should get them over here sometime in October, and then it's going to be a little easier to start bringing these vehicles around, because now you can really slam the doors and sit in it and push the buttons. Right now we're still taking an early prototype around, and you always have to explain to people this is an early prototype. So obviously what you want to do is show the final vehicle, and as you know, our production start is November 17th. That's your official start of production, which has more to do with that now you have all the final software releases and certification and everything else. But we will have some vehicles probably in October, which we can start using for marketing purposes.
So there you have it. That was one of the takeaways. I thought he talked briefly about production intent vehicles. He's going to go, I think it's like a week now, week and a half. He's going to head over to Graz, Austria, and check those out. And we saw them about, middle of this month. We saw the latest prototypes. Now we're going to get the production intent vehicles, which I believe should have pretty much everything that we would expect in November when production begins to ramp up on the 17th. And I don't know if you noticed, but he's this is the first time I've heard him say it. Maybe he said it other places, but he used the word official start of production, which makes me think, speculating, maybe they're going to start a couple of days before, and the 17th is just the official start date, but maybe we'll see some production vehicles roll off the line maybe a couple of days before. I know we talked about that, Jim, a long time ago. What do you guys think?
I mean, like I said, I think that they're probably going to set it up to where that day, it's not like they're starting that day, but they'll already have them in process. So they'll probably have some big event where they'll be rolling off the first ones off the line. And it could even be, they could even invite the first few customers there and actually present them the car and let them actually take it out and drive it.
That'd be pretty special.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a good photo op, and also for the company, just good word for them too.
Yeah.
Who knows if they will start before? I think they're going to be working to the last minute fine tuning. We're seeing that now. They're working on the ADAS systems. That one video we showed on, I think it was Instagram.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, I think they're going to be working up to the end.
They might be working up to the end, certainly on the UI, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that one's going to be a nail biter, which is neat, though. He said that's, I think he said in some sort of tweet, he being Henrik said, probably on Instagram, might have been LinkedIn or stock tweets, one of the two. Those are like the three that he's on. He said that once he goes and sees the production intent vehicles, paraphrasing him, it's more or less just the UI finalization is what's needed. So that'll be certainly interesting. And there's going to be some tie-in, obviously, the UI, and not just the UI, but the software in general tied into the ADAS system, right? And in 5Pilot, it's all got to connect to the 17.1 inch display and what that looks like, and how customers or your drivers or passengers, whoever it may be, may interact with the UI. And who knows? Like in the Teslas, Matt, you can kind of tap around and play with the vehicles on the screen and swivel your vehicle and kind of look at a 360-degree view, and it's fun. And we know Fisker's going to have some sort of a 360-degree 3D view or something to that extent, but we don't know what that experience is going to be like. What's the customer experience going to be like? Who knows at this point? So those are all the things, the fun things, I think, that we get to explore when the vehicle hits the road or when we get to do a test drive. So cool. Yeah. Another takeaway from that video. He said basically that in October timeframe, he didn't give specifics, but he said, I asked him at the beginning, I said, hey, a lot of people want you to drive the Fisker Ocean down the coast, the East Coast, go down to Florida, go to Miami. People want to see the vehicle in Miami. And he basically said, hey, we need more, of these prototypes or maybe even production intent vehicles on the road, more marketing vehicles, basically, so that, people can slam the doors and push the buttons, and it'll give the company more, just more vehicles just to do more marketing events and things that, us customers want them to do. So I thought that was the first time I heard him say that. So that was kind of neat. So let me pull up another clip. I got another one here from that same interview. Let's go ahead and throw up this one. This one is Henrik Fisker talking about something that we've seen, but we didn't know what it was called.
Well, we have a couple of other cool features. I gave a little hint on it with this, what we call the taco tray, but there's also, we'll show a little later, actually a taco tray only on the Ocean 1 and Extreme for the driver, obviously when you're in standstill. But it's really cool because you can, obviously if you do have to stop for some fast food, you can use that, but you can also put your computer on it if you need to do a quick Zoom or FaceTime while you're on the go. So I think it's like a real cool feature in that as well, that nobody else have. It's sort of something you experience when you're flying or something.
So I thought that was kind of funny. I never heard of that term before. What do you guys think of that term, taco tray?
Yeah.
Well, tacos are popular in California.
In Southern California, right? We got lots of Mexican food here. I love
and
Mexican
we had them
food.
here too, so yeah.
Yeah. I think Mexican food is pretty much nationwide here in the United States. But for the longest time, I still eat loads of Mexican food each week, probably 2 or 3 meals a week. So I don't get too much fast food, let alone fast food from a taco stand. But if I did, I now have potentially a taco tray as the driver and the passenger, right? So the Fisker Ocean 1 and the Extreme are going to come with a driver side and passenger side taco tray. Pretty neat. First, you heard it first on that interview. I never knew about that, so that was kind of funny. So we'll have to experiment with that. I don't know if I'm going to eat in my Fisker Ocean. Will you guys eat in your Fisker Ocean?
Probably.
It happens for us on trips, day-to-day driving now, but on long-distance trips, it's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, true. So let's poll the audience here. We got I don't know 50 something people watching. It looks like let's ask them. Will you eat in your Fisker Ocean with a taco tray? Let's see what everybody thinks about that one. Okay, there's the new poll for everybody on YouTube. So if you're watching us on Facebook, you got to go over to YouTube in order to take the poll. We're going to find out, is the taco tray going to make you more likely to eat in your Fisker Ocean than without the taco tray? That is the question. All right, so let's go ahead and look at one last clip from that Fiskerati interview. And let's see what we have here. This one I actually thought was quite interesting. When he talked about the Pear, we spent, I don't know, it was a 17-minute interview. We spent a good 7 minutes or so talking. It felt like 7 minutes talking about the Fisker Pear. And it was, I heard some new details. I don't know what anyone else heard in there, but we'll hear this clip here. Let's listen.
But one of the features you can see in this picture is we wanted to have, when you drive in the city, a great view out. So we created this really almost like a jet fighter or a airplane glider window that wraps around. Now, unfortunately, it's super difficult to make. So we are talking to many different glass manufacturers about how we're going to make this glass. So we are making some small changes right now to some of the curvature to be able to actually tool up for this and manufacture it. But I think we have some solutions, and it should make it into production. We, of course, right now we have signed off the concept phase. So we have both exterior and interior design done, the overall proportions. We've just decided on the battery sizes and the powertrain, etc. We will have different variations for this vehicle.
So there was a few bits there. I don't know what you guys heard, but I heard a few bits. The one that I thought was kind of interesting is they're doing some tweaks to that glass, that wraparound glass. And that wraparound glass is something very unique that we haven't seen. It's very innovative. And in order to actually bring it into production, they're going to have to do some tweaks. We don't know what those tweaks are, but they're working on, they have solutions. I thought that was quite interesting. And then he talked about how, I think we knew this, that there was kind of a lock on the design and things like that. But I didn't know that they selected the battery sizes. There would be 2 battery sizes. We know there was going to be like a hyper range and whatever, but we didn't know what the sizes are going to be. So, and we still don't know what they are, but we know there's 2 of them, and they've selected them. So that was kind of interesting. And I thought the Fisker Pear photo, so it was funny, they shared an exclusive photo of the Fisker Pear. We haven't seen a Fisker Pear photo in, I don't know, a couple months, and maybe a month and a half. And then I shared that photo, and then it was like later that afternoon, or maybe the next day, I forgot it was, but Henrik ended up sharing more or less the same photo, but with less obstruction. So it was quite neat that he shared something with us, and then he shared something better with everybody else on social media. But it was still quite a memory doing that interview, and I hope to be able to do more of those interviews. And it would be great at some point in order to actually bring him on one of these live shows and everybody be able to interact just like we do now in the chat and stuff. So, in the future, let's see what we can do. And that was pretty exciting. Any takeaways or anything you guys want to talk about that, or we can move right on to the East Coast debut?
I just want to mention about the Pear. It seems like he's stressing the windshield, but also the trunk. Like the front and the back seem like the really unique parts of the car. And obviously we haven't seen the back, and he's probably not going to show it till next year. But it's pretty intriguing how he describes it.
It is. And I said, hey, do you like Harry Houdini? And he's like, no, it's just, I love his disappearing act. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. Harry Houdini's well known for his disappearing act. And he was also known for going in, tanks of water chained up and being an escape artist and stuff. So it's quite neat to see. And Henrik did mention about that trunk. He said that it would be able to be opened in very tight spaces. So if you're backed up against a wall, or there's a car that, comes and backs up right next to you or pulls right up in front of you and you have no room, supposedly the trunk's going to be accessible. Who knows how? But that's kind of exciting to see kind of what that final design is going to be like. And they've finalized the design. They just haven't shared the design like you mentioned, Matt. So more to come. So let's roll into what maybe some people have been waiting for, the East Coast debut of the Fisker Ocean. So we talked about that. That was quite they did a lot of stuff in New York this week, and we saw a lot of photos. We saw a lot of videos. I think I ended up pulling up some photos. Let me go ahead and actually pull some up. I actually have one photo right now of the Fisker Ocean over in the Hamptons, and we'll start off here because the Fisker Ocean was actually the Fisker Ocean 1, I should say, was purchased by the Milken Institute and specifically the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And the organization purchased it to auction off. And we learned about that last week. And we actually were lucky enough to be kind of, the one to break the news, I should say, of what the vehicle sold for. So we were able to, and lucky to be able to say that, hey, this vehicle right here that you see on the screen, it's actually not quite that vehicle, but it's the Fisker Ocean 1, sold for $170,000. That was actually kind of the big moment that happened on Saturday night. The vehicle had over 150 bidders or participants that wanted to actually bid on it. And then the final bid, $170,000. I didn't think it would actually sell for this much. So I was actually quite surprised that whoever purchased this paid 170 grand. And this particular event, if either of the two of you didn't know, it was a lot of C-level executives, a lot of high net worth individuals, people that you would probably think about who would attend a charity event to donate, be very generous and donate, their money to help fund cancer research, since this charity, the Prostate Cancer Foundation, actually tries to fight. They're trying to fight prostate cancer through all their research. So it's a great cause. $170,000 Fisker Ocean. This is the highest paid Fisker Ocean 1 to date. And does that give you two, Matt, you're going to own a Fisker Ocean 1. Jim, you're going to own a Fisker Ocean. But Matt, does this actually make you want to potentially throw your Fisker Ocean up for sale at some point and be like, hey, I got a Fisker Ocean 1. Does anyone want to buy it for 170 grand?
No, I mean, I hope I enjoy the car and keep it. I have no intention of selling it.
Yeah, me either. That actually just makes me feel a little better having pre-ordered it, and I put down that $5 grand. Somebody ended up just putting down 170 grand, and they're going to be paying that amount probably well before the vehicle arrives. So, and they may have already paid that amount. Who knows? They may have already written a check. So they've paid the largest price, including a deposit, if you will. So our $5 grand non-refundable deposit doesn't look too bad after that one. So let's go ahead and have a quick look here back at that poll. Let's see. We had 50. Let's see here. Stop this poll. So we had a poll about that taco tray real quick. 24 votes. 54% of the people said they will eat in their Fisker Ocean with the taco tray. So that is kind of interesting. All right. So let's go into the Fisker Ocean over at Domino Park. We had the pop-up event. And this is kind of where we'll spend a good amount of time. We saw quite a few different things. I'm going to start off by sharing the photo that you sent. Actually, you know what I'm going to start off with? I'm going to start off with a bunch of photos of the event to just kind of set the table. And then we will go from there. So let's look at some photos real quick here. So here is the Fisker Ocean over in Brooklyn on River Street, actually. And these were shared by a viewer, and we saw a lot of people. This is probably the most photos I've seen of the Fisker Ocean from a pop-up event to date, hands down. There were photos by virtually, it seemed like everyone who attended the event had their camera out and they were taking photos. So I didn't see that at Pebble Beach. I haven't seen that. I've seen, some people take their camera out, but it seemed like almost everyone had their camera out taking photos. If you looked at Twitter, Instagram, photos everywhere. So it was actually quite neat. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But here are some of the photos We've seen a lot of these photos before, so there's nothing really earth-shattering, but different angles. With all the photos, everybody has different angles they want to get. So that is, I don't know what that's called, but it's like the light at the top of the I don't know what that's called. You guys probably
like the
know.
Overhead controls.
There you go,
Yeah.
overhead controls. So
Yeah.
that we'll talk a little bit later about that, and that's where that camera was today in the video that Henrik Fisker shot of the front view camera for the ADAS, the 5-pilot technology. So that camera was up there. So we'll go a little bit into that later, but roll through some of these, and there was another camera right there on the rear of the vehicle. The door panels looking a little grimy there from everyone's hands. And actually, I'm going to go back real quick on that. Somebody actually asked the other day. I don't know where they asked this, but they ended up asking, "How do you close the door in the prototype?" One thought was there's actually no interior handle, and you probably wouldn't pull the handle to open the door to shut it. There really isn't too many places to pull it. So my thought or my guess would be you can either pull down, pull the window down and you pull the side of the door shut. That'd probably be the easiest. The second potential way of doing it would be pulling that handle to get some momentum, and then it ends up closing. And then the third way, probably unlikely, would be that little I don't know what it's called, that little compartment down at the bottom below the the window controls, door locks, and then pulling that shut. So I don't know how you would shut this door. Do you guys have any idea, or is those three ways I mentioned, that's pretty much it?
I never even noticed that until now.
Yeah, and I actually haven't even paid attention in any of the prototypes and the videos to actually look at the door. So I'm sure there's a way to do it. One person thought of the idea of, well, maybe they automatically close. Maybe you push a button, or maybe you do a speech command like shut the door, and then the door shuts. I don't know.
You know what I think?
What's that?
The piece of plastic that goes by the door handle that extends all the way to the end of the door, I think that's separate from the fabric above it. I think you can grab that. I can't really tell from the photo. Is that the case? I can't
tell from the photo either. This is the only photo I've seen actually of the door panel too. So I was like, hey, this is interesting. If anybody has an idea in the comments, in the chat, in the live chat, how would you close the door? That is the question right now. How would you close that door?
Make my wife walk around to the other side and shut it.
Oh, that's not very nice. Okay, let's go on. So maybe people can have an idea in the chat. So this I thought is kind of a cool view. You have the display on the right. You have the little speedometer. What gear the vehicle's in, kind of in a front. I'm sure there's a name for that. Some sort of a display. I don't know all the terminology of all these things, but I will eventually figure it out. Cup holders. Now, we had a couple of people complaining about cup holders. I saw weird shape of a cup holder. It's hard to tell how and don't forget, this is a prototype. I haven't seen. I can't remember what the prototype or the latest prototype looks like with the cup holder. I don't know if you've seen a latest and greatest Matt or Jim, but I think they hold the same shape if based on the photos that I've seen in the press room on the Fisker site. So it's an interesting shape. I don't know how how all the different all drinks are round. Usually, I don't see too many that are a square or what look like a tiny little basketball court. I don't know what that's called, but that shape, but like half moon / flat on one side and round. I'm sure there's a name for that shape. Need to go back to my geometry days, but I'm hoping that there's somewhere to put my Gatorade bottle. I drink a lot of like Powerade and Gatorade, and it's all watered down, of course, but like this is usually, I always have one of these in the car. I go for a lot of running. I do a lot of running. So I usually rehydrate with one of these things, and usually they don't fit. They don't fit in the Tesla Model 3, either on the side door or in the drink spot. So cup holders is a big one, and I hope that something will fit here. It's true.
Sorry.
I love cup holders.
On some cars, they have like fingers that hold like a can or a cup in place.
Yep.
Like rubberized type of indention of some sort. That's usually the best I've seen.
Yeah. Some are spring loaded too.
Yeah, or
They'll,
spring or something.
Yeah.
It keeps it in place.
Got it.
But I was laughing just a second ago because Franklin Sands asked, "Will the person who paid the $170,000 for the vehicle actually get the EV tax credit?"
No, they probably won't.
No.
They probably won't. That's that sale was made after the fact, so they probably won't. That's a
Hey,
shame.
I want to interrupt a second. I did find another photo of the door, and like I mentioned, that piece of plastic that goes along the edge, it's about an inch to an inch and a half gap between the fabric part and the plastic. So the whole length of it you can grab.
Got it.
So that whole length from the handle to the end of the door you can pull.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It kind of looked like that was. That's what I was thinking. It kind of looked like your hand would like go inside there, and there's probably some little piece of plastic on the back side of where that handle is that you just grab a hold of.
Rubberized or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's another angle. Yeah. So in this,
I saw another one that had more of a downward look to it, and that's what I noticed.
Got it.
But there's hundreds of photos. I can't believe how many have been.
There's
posted.
So many that have been posted. Yeah, it's amazing how many got posted this go around. And there's always something. So let's talk about. Let's go ahead and throw up some photos. I'm going to throw up your photo, Matt, that you shared with me that you wanted to talk about. Let's take a look at that one, and then I have a couple too that something that we haven't seen before. So we got your photo on the screen here.
Yeah, I don't know how much you guys talked about like the hitch system or getting the hitch option with it. I'm looking forward to having a 2-inch hitch receiver to throw on bike racks, carriers, and stuff like that. But the top photo is a photo from the Big Sur Blue, which is like about a year old. The middle one is from the newer test, the Blue Planet, and the bottom one is from the factory. And they all have slightly different rear below the license plate areas. If you look at the picture, they're all slightly different. And I wonder what they're going to do. Is the hitch is going to be behind like a plastic cover, like a lot of SUVs have, like a rectangular cover that fits over it to hide it?
I've seen on a couple European cars where the hitch is like on a hinge. Flips forward, and then you lock it in place when you're going to use it. When you don't use it, then it flips back underneath the car. So I wonder if maybe it's something like that inside that, underneath that plate, where it would just swing out.
Yeah, I actually have never owned a vehicle with any sort of tow hitch on it. This will be kind of the first time where I'll have an option maybe to tow something. The only thing I could think of that I would maybe tow would be, I'd love to buy a boat at some point. They usually say, the best time of owning a boat is the day that you sell it. So I don't know if I'll actually buy one, but I've loved to do that. I've had some great experiences and memories on a lake, and I could see, driving the Fisker Ocean not only to a lake, but also to Mission Bay here in San Diego, and taking it out for the weekend, or maybe even jet skis or something like that. Those we could, fit more easily in our garage. But that would be quite a good experience, and that's nice that this vehicle is going to be able to do a good amount of towing. From what I've read.
Yeah, 4,000 pounds, I think, for the Extreme, right? And
that's right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say I was thinking that I saw 5,000 somewhere, but you're probably right. It's probably 4.
Yeah, I've for sure seen 4. I haven't seen more than that, but it certainly.
I do a lot of stuff with the Ford Lightning too, and I know so I get my tow numbers mixed up.
Yeah. Do you know how much the Ford Lightning can tow as a comparison?
The standard range without the tow package on it, the max tow package, is 5,000. It's 7,500 with the max tow package on the standard range battery. The standard range, the extended range is I think it's like 7,800.
Wow, that's quite a lot. So, okay, let's check this one out. I thought this was funny. Maybe you guys have seen this before. This was kind of interesting. I'm going to zoom in here. So I wondered what those, and I don't know if we can see it before, but yeah, so it's like you had a picture. It's basically how do you start up and shut down the Fisker Ocean test vehicle. So it's got like all these toggles.
Got a booster.
So like, yeah, so it's eye booster. I don't know what that is. HVB is high voltage battery. That's the only one I could figure out. I don't know what the other ones are.
Yeah, I think that's an
CI30.
emergency cutoff for the high voltage. Yeah.
In case there's a fire or there's some sort of
some
overheating
problem,
or whatever it may be. So yeah, I thought that was actually quite interesting. There's these instructions that are on the dashboard, tells you kind of what to do. Vehicle startup procedure, turn on all emergency buttons, turn on CI30 switch, no brake pedal. What else does it say? It says short press on brake pedal to activate CI15, whatever that stands for. Wait 5 seconds before braking, wait for ready on display. And then vehicle shutdown procedure, press park brake, push ESP emergency button and stand still. And then VCU, whatever that is, in safe state. And then turn off CI.30 switch. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And these
it's like you're operating a plane
like,
or something.
Yeah, right. Totally. And it actually has like instructions dated 12 April 2022 K, Gebhard. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So whoever made those, somebody at Magna, right? It's the Magna protocol. It's got a Magna logo at the top. So I thought that was funny. So the next photo we're going to see, maybe people have seen that. I've never seen that. That was kind of interesting. But the next photo, you'll actually have a better shot of that particular, those little switches right there. How you start the vehicle. But there's something else here that we're going to talk about. It's actually the color of the interior. So if you look at this is the first time I've ever seen a two-tone interior color. You have kind of like a dark, a blackish color or a grayish color. I'm going to go with black. Like a blackish, what could be potentially a eco suede option, possibly, maybe eco fabric, but I'm going to go with eco suede. And then you have the eco leather exterior, the side trims of that driver and passenger seat. And then you have like a sea salt-esque color for the armrest on the center console. So that was a new color that I've never seen before, this two-tone. It isn't a test vehicle. I reached out to the company for comment to say, hey, what color is this? I've never seen this. What is it? Can you confirm what we're looking at here? I have not heard back from the company yet. But if I do, I will update the article that I wrote about it. But I thought that was actually kind of neat. I love, my favorite bit of this is the color of the driver's seat. I would take that color all day long if that was eco suede. If that was eco fabric, I'd take that all day long too. I like the look of that. What are your guys' first initial thoughts? I'm sure you've seen this at least once, maybe 10 times by now.
Yeah. I was confused with the black in the front, and then doesn't it have Malibu in the back?
No, but it does have something else. I can pull that one up.
Salt, maybe.
It's got a.
So I was confused why.
So that's the back seats. So you end up, let me kind of zoom in there. I don't know what people's thoughts are in the chat. Maybe you guys can see there. I don't see anyone actually talking about that right now. They're talking about other fun stuff. But yeah, we look here, we blow this up. It looks like it is, that's no good. It looks like it doesn't look like the same material as the driver's seat, at least in the main portion. It doesn't look like it's that eco suede or eco fabric. It looks more like the eco leather. It looks, but it also looks too shiny to me. But that could be just the light. You can kind of see, I don't know what you can see on the screen here. Yeah, you can kind of see like glare right there in the middle. So I don't know what to make of this. I think it's definitely an interesting option. I personally wouldn't select this option. It's a little adventurous for me, as I previously mentioned. You like this one, huh?
Yeah, I like the light colors. We always like the lighter colors. Now, I The white has always kind of been, scary, and I know Tesla has their white interior, but I've heard great things that they always stayed clean and they don't get as dirty as what you think they would. And they also used it in the ID4. Now we didn't get one with the ID4 with the white interior, but there's been people that have had their ID4 for 2 years now, and the white's still like new. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as what it used to be in the past. In the past, I think they just threw white stuff in there and just went. But now I think they
Yeah,
do a
like
little
if
bit
that
more
was
protecting it.
fabric, so like the Tesla is like the vegan leather option, or the leatherette option.
Mhm.
At least the black is that I have. I'm going to go with the white option on the Tesla Model 3 is probably the same leatherette option. What do you have in yours, Matt? Do you have the white or the
I
black?
have black because that's all they had back when I got mine. I think the white came
Okay.
out about 6 months after. But yeah, the white and the black are the same. They're both polyurethane for the Tesla. I've heard good and bad things. I've heard some people who have had blue from, say, jeans rub off on the white, and some
Okay.
people who have had no problems. So yeah, I guess it just depends on your use, how hard you are on it. Maybe kids, who knows?
Got it. Yeah, I would think if it's the polyurethane or that eco leather, it would be easier to wipe clean than a fabric
Yeah.
option, which will kind of soak
course,
up.
yeah.
And so that's yeah. So it just all depends on what I just found it kind of interesting that the front of these seats was a different material to some extent, the main portion of the front seat compared to the back section. So if we find out more details about this, we'll share them. We'll write an article about it. But I thought that was interesting, something new we haven't seen. We've seen the Fisker test vehicle. We've seen photos of it all around LA. We've seen lots of photos of it over in Pebble Beach, but no one actually got a close-up view of the interior. So this was the first time we've seen the interior. And I'm guessing the seats at Pebble, the seats that are in it when it was in Brooklyn are the same seats that were in it when it was over in Pebble Beach. Maybe not. Maybe they did a swap of the interior. But I'm gonna make the guess that they probably didn't. So another thing that happened. So that was basically we package up the East Coast debut. That was basically, the Fisker Ocean over at the Milken Institute event. It had, the debut and the pop-up location for people to see in Brooklyn on Sunday. So that was just only like 4 days ago. And that was the East Coast debut. We don't know where the company's going to take the Fisker Ocean on the East Coast next. But we do know that the company will actually take the Fisker Ocean to the Fully Charged live show over in San Diego next month. I think that's the 10th and the 11th. So we'll be heading there. We're going to be doing what everyone else did here in New York and Pebble Beach. We'll be taking the photos. We'll be taking the videos. So let us know in the comments what photos you want to see that you haven't seen yet. Is there something? I know one person told me on our site, they said, take a photo and a video underneath the seat. Let's see how much room is underneath the seat of the vehicle. Like, are you going to be able to store anything there? I'm going to go with probably not. But my guess is there's a whole bunch of technology things underneath the seat, like there is in most vehicles, different, I don't know what they are, semiconductors or whatever the heck they are, different cables. But I'll take a photo and a video. If there's other photos and videos you guys want to see, let us know. We did get one photo, actually. Let me see if I can pull this one up. This is going to be kind of a Hail Mary if I can find this one here real quick. There was a photo I saw that somebody took and posted. There's a funny forum post, at least on the Fiskerati forums, that people end up, they said, where does the wiper fluid go? And I just lost that screen. So let me throw this up. So it's like, where does the wiper fluid go? Well, that's a good question. Where does the wiper fluid go? Somebody actually got a photo on Henrik's test vehicle, and we now know where the wiper fluid goes. So let's take a look at this. This is kind of interesting. There is the Fisker Ocean test vehicle, and that is Henrik's. Did it just go? No, there we go. That little tiny compartment you see there, that is where the washer fluid goes. Let me zoom in here so you can kind of see.
That's
it
on the
says,
right side, by the way, so people know. It's towards
Yep.
the right side
Okay.
of the right-hand
I was
side.
just
Definitely
getting
with
ready
the
to
right
ask.
wiper.
Yeah.
You can see the nozzles right
Okay.
here too. The nozzles are kind of bronze-like, right in the center, from the looks of
Yeah.
it, and that says, washer fluid only. So that's where it goes. One person said, and it looks like there's some sort of a sealant, and this is a test vehicle, so this is, this isn't maybe what the finals
Probably
gonna
not
look like.
final. No.
Yeah, but that's the latest place that we know where the wiper fluid goes. So that was kind of a new insight, and hopefully we'll kill that topic or that thread on the Fiskerati forums. That one kept rearing its ugly head up, kind of as a joke, like, well, we don't even know where the wiper fluid goes. Well, there it is. That's where it goes. Now, what do you think? What do you guys think? If it rains, you think water would get in there? You get free windshield washer fluid, or you think it's sealed enough where you wouldn't
think it's
actually get
sealed.
anything? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably sealed, and it probably is a little bit more under the hood than what it appears to be there from the angle they took that picture. So there
Yeah.
probably is a little protection from it, but yeah, it's probably sealed up pretty good.
So that was another tidbit from that. I think that's our last tidbit or takeaway that I saw from the event that I haven't seen before. So hopefully those are new things to the people that are tuning in right now. Now we have something else. So after this event, the one thing that we saw at this event that we haven't really seen, or at least I haven't seen at other events, is we've seen loads and loads of lines. There was lines. I don't know how far the lines went down, but all the video that I saw and all the photos, there was actually quite a long line of people waiting to actually see the vehicle. So that was actually nice to see as a shareholder, which we'll talk about in just a minute or two. But another thing, it made me wonder the other day, and I posted something on the site. If you haven't already done so, we have a poll. You can find it by going to our site and just searching poll, or you can, I'll just post it in the chat, and you can take the poll if you want. But we basically asked the question, will the Fisker Ocean be your first electric vehicle? So we've had, I don't know, 100 and looks like 127, 28, 129 responses so far. And that's pretty interesting. Of the people who voted, the Fisker Ocean, it was 70%, 70.5% of the people. The Fisker Ocean is going to be their very first electric vehicle, and that means that 29.5%. They will be, the Fisker Ocean will be like a second, a third. For you, Matt, I think you said you owned 3 electric vehicles before. This will be your 4th, I believe.
No,
Does that
this
sound
will
right?
be my third. Yeah.
This will be your third. Okay.
Yeah.
And then for you, Jim, this will be your second, right? You have the ID4, and then
Yes.
this will be the second.
It depends on if I get my Lightning first.
Ooh, that's true too. There you go. And then this will be my second electric vehicle as well, the Tesla Model 3 being the first. So that was interesting. And the reason I asked that question is we're always looking to try to come up with like new fun things that maybe are educational, or we can learn something from. And I thought, let's go ahead and create a new video series, and both Jim and Matt, you're invited to be a part of it if you're interested. But it's basically what can we tell new Fisker Ocean owners that are going to be new to electric vehicles? As you see, there's 129. It's probably going to be, we'll probably end up with like 250 people that vote on that poll by the time next week rolls around. And if that holds, 70% of the people who are getting the Fisker Ocean will be their very first electric vehicle. So there's probably some stuff that we can tell them. And I haven't owned an electric vehicle more than maybe a year and a couple months. You're pretty much the veteran, I would say. Matt, you've owned your electric vehicle the longest. Jim, you've owned your, I believe, ID4 longer than I've owned the Tesla. But there's something that, we all could probably share as far as like, our opinion, our take, what, an electric vehicle owner, should expect, what they should do to prepare. So that's going to be a video series that we start working on next month, which next month begins tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified, or just stay tuned to the Fiskerati site, and we'll publish each episode as it is released. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then there was one last kind of PSA before we go to the next topic, which is actually going to be about Henrik Fisker's Pilot. So let's talk about one other thing. So somebody asked us in a couple different places, like, where are the Fisker Ocean ones going to be delivered around the world? We know there's like 9 launch markets. Where are they going to be delivered? Well, we don't know where they're going to be delivered. We kind of have a good indication as Fiskerati, the site, where people view our site from. We have a very good indication on what are the most popular cities and things like that. Maybe there's some correlation there, but we've ended up. I'm going to post into the chat for those that are interested in doing this. There's a Google spreadsheet going around where you can end up putting in, if you're a Fisker Ocean 1, somebody who's pre-ordered it, you're going to get it. If you want to put your information in there, and it's no personal information, it's just like, hey, this is the Fisker Ocean 1 that I'm ordering, the trim and the city and the state and the I think the country that you're in. So we can try to figure out, and I think it's got like 130 people have filled it out. We're a long ways away from 5,000. I'm not, even cautiously optimistic. I think we're not going to get anywhere near 5,000 people filling that out. But somebody thought, hey, let's give it a go. And I love the enthusiasm. So I thought, okay, I'm going to help you out, and I'm going to create this spreadsheet. So for those that want to fill it out, knock yourself out. Maybe we'll get 1,000 people. Maybe, I don't know. So there you go. I can tell you there's going to be one over here in San Diego, and then one where Matt lives, and then wherever else everybody is that's on this stream. So that's all I got for you there.
2 people in Chicago, I think, reserved the one.
Got it. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I think there was like 280 people on the Fiskerati forums that said that they've pre-ordered a Fisker Ocean 1. I imagine at some point those people will probably take go to the spreadsheet and fill it out. But I think there's a Facebook group that has like 2,000 people now who say that they pre-ordered the Fisker Ocean 1. Whether they all have, who knows? But it's another group for people to talk about Fisker Ocean, which is pretty cool. And then there's people all over the place that have done it. It's just trying to get the spreadsheet or the word out. And do people really, does everybody care about where the Fisker Ocean is going to be delivered? No. But you know what? We reached out to the company to ask them if they could share some information with us. If they do, that'd be a lot easier. So we've done that. I don't think they're going to share it because it's kind of sensitive, in my opinion. So we'll stick with the spreadsheet methodology, and if we get it, we get it. But I'm not feeling optimistic about that one. So let's talk about the next thing. The next thing is the Fisker Ocean and Henrik Fisker's test of the Pilot today. So there we go. Let's pull up the video. We have a video clip of the Pilot. Here it is.
The Fisker Ocean, we're looking at the clear view front camera that you're not going to see very often without a cover on it.
Let's watch it one more time. It's
the
such a short
Fisker
clip.
Ocean, we're looking at the clear view front camera that you're not going to see very often without a cover on it.
So that was he said the clear view front camera. If we look at this, so just trying to put kind of where it is. If you look at this photo right here, my guess based on that short clip, we saw a little glimpse of the rear view mirror, and it's in the front, obviously, because you can see, the front windshield. So my guess is it's underneath that control panel, the overhead control panel, if that's the correct terminology that you said earlier, Matt. So it's somewhere hiding under there, that camera, and it mounts, I'm guessing, to the front windshield, so you have a nice view of the front. And that's one of 5 digital cameras that surround the vehicle. That just happens to be the center one. And then there's 12 ultrasonic sensors around the vehicle as well. But we know that Henrik Fisker, I believe somebody asked at the Brooklyn event, hey, where's Henrik Fisker? And I saw on Instagram that, oh, he's left to head back, and they didn't say where. My guess is he did a stop over in Detroit to check out the ADAS testing, and got to do a drive himself and record that video. So I'm guessing he said he did it earlier, so he's back now. So maybe he's back in LA, and that was maybe on Monday or Tuesday. So that's what we have. What you guys have any thoughts on Five Pilot or that clip that we saw?
I don't know. I've never actually seen what it looks like underneath there, so it was kind of neat seeing the size of that. You think it's a small little camera, like a webcam or something, but that thing was pretty good size, and I'm sure it's pulling in a lot of data, controlling some other things up there also. But looks like it's got a pretty big fan on it on the bottom side of that, so
yeah,
it's probably holding in a lot of data. I would guess it's got some type of a recording system, kind of like Tesla does, built into that also.
I would also add that Tesla has some type of equipment up by the camera area too, and a lot of the processing is done in the main CPU is down by the passenger side, at least in my car. So they have stuff that's kind of distributed around the car. I think most companies do that. They'll have different parts, and the video we just saw, it looked like an Ethernet cable on the left-hand side too. So I wonder if that's just communications from different parts of the car. If you look at the very left-hand side, that looked like the Ethernet cable to me. Yep.
Some sort of a cable, yeah.
And the right, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe power.
So that's the first look at that. That was kind of interesting. Definitely interesting, seeing all the guts and the technology, the unpretty stuff. I guess that case that goes over the over that camera and gives you the controls for the lights. And another thing I saw too, and I've seen it in a couple photos, that SOS button that's going to be up there. What do you guys think that's going to do? Is that like I'm in a crash and I press the SOS and it calls for help, it calls 911, or it calls emergency services? Is that what that's supposed to be used for?
Yeah, I had that when I had a
yes.
Chevy Volt.
Okay.
It had a OnStar button, so it's usually like an emergency type of thing.
Yeah, I've seen OnStar before, but I've never had a vehicle that has SOS up there. But maybe that's a feature that all new cars have now. So we do know that the car is going to be internet connected.
We have it on our ID4.
Okay, never had to use it though yet, huh? I've never used one before.
It just basically they tell us whenever we can get an over-the-air update, we have to make sure that light is lit up green so we can get our update that we're supposed to get a year and a half ago. We haven't gotten it.
That's a long time. That's a long time to wait. So that brings us to our last topic before we do some Q&A and just regular chatting. So let's look at this Fisker stock price. So maybe people have been waiting around for this. I don't know if people have stock questions. I am a shareholder. I think all three of us are shareholders of Fisker. I think not only have we all pre-ordered a Fisker Ocean, we also are shareholders of the company. The stock, let's pull it up here. I have a chart of the stock, and we're going to look at start. It's just Yahoo Finance, so nothing too crazy. But let me throw it up here. We have the Fisker stock price, which is now at $9.03. As you can see, stock market futures are down, and that is probably pulling Fisker down, and by 1.11% or 1.11%. So the thing that I have noticed since Friday, so the stock market as a whole since Friday has been pretty much, wrecked, I would say. You've had Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell came and took a very hawkish tone at the end of last week, and it sent the entire stock market down. I want to say the NASDAQ was down about 4%, maybe a little bit more than that on Friday. It continued its slide on Monday and Tuesday, and again today. And it looks like, as of right now, the stock market's going to go down again tomorrow. But we've noticed the past couple days at the opening, stocks are up, and then they sell off, as you can kind of see in the stock chart up at the top there, where you have the S&P futures and the Dow futures and the NASDAQ futures. But one thing I've noticed over the last 4 days trading session, there was a lot of enthusiasm building up to the Fisker Ocean debut on the East Coast. And as you know, Wall Street is in New York. And I think there are a lot of analysts that are also in New York. And I don't know how many, if any, ended up going out to Brooklyn to check out the Fisker Ocean. I'll probably say very few did. I think it ended up bringing a lot of new investors into the pool since Friday, because we ended up having that auction that took place on Saturday. Everybody knew that the Fisker Ocean was going to be at that Hamptons event over at the Milken Institute's Prostate Cancer Foundation gala on Saturday night. And those were high net worth individuals. And I'm just speculating here, but I think a lot of high net worth individuals at that event may actually have purchased some Fisker shares, because the market literally was down 4% on Friday. But Fisker stock, if I go and pull a 5-day chart up, you'll see it's kind of steady as it goes. It didn't have any major dips. It ended up closing right around $9 a share the last 4 trading sessions. So there's definitely support here. It's kind of the first time where we've seen the market crater 4 days in a row, and Fisker stock not really getting too hurt. Now, I don't typically follow the day in, day out stock movements. I built up a position. I'm done buying Fisker stock. It is what it is. If it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. I look at it every day. I do look at the stock price every day, but it's not going to make me change my position one way or another. So I just found it interesting for the people who stress about the stock price. It looks to have found some sort of a support here. I think it was from the enthusiasm building up, and now after the fact of that New York East Coast debut, it brought some new investors into the fold. It's becoming more real. The Fisker stock is, a show me stock, I would say. And Jim and I talked about that the other week. It's a show me, meaning, hey, is the company executing? If they weren't executing, I follow 289 SPACs, or companies that have de-SPACed, and 90% of those are under $10 a share. Over 50% of them are under $5 a share. And I think it's like 20% of those are under $1 a share. So Fisker is executing. That's why we see a $9.03 share price. If they weren't, this would be, sub 5. And, I think they're going to continue to execute. The one hiccup that they haven't been able to execute on, which got pushed out, and that might be a COVID type thing, but you can blame it on anything, is the experience centers opening in the summer of 2022. That didn't happen. That milestone did not get met. But investors seem to have shrugged that off. Stocks trading just about $1 under its par value of $10, which it went public back in 2020. So that's my thoughts. I said I was going to share my thoughts on the stock. I don't know if we have any questions. Do you guys have any thoughts on the share price or the stock, or do you care what the stock is day in and day out, or it doesn't really matter to you?
You know my feelings on that. It goes up good, down bad.
I just want to add that I still have more money set aside to put in. So if the stock does drop in the 8s, I'll probably get some more. I only started buying recently in the last couple of months, so my cost is actually fairly low.
Yeah.
So I'm not too upset right now.
Yeah,
and I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all either. I actually owned the stock back when it was SPAQ. I ended up selling it as it moved up to $30 a share, so I was able to benefit several times with that original position. My original position was actually 10,000 shares. I do hold a significant, amount more than 10,000 shares today, but I've purchased that existing position that I have now. So I've sold the original position over the course of the 2020, SPAC mania. I don't know if that's what you want to call it, but SPAC mania. I must have owned literally 25 SPACs, all in the ESG sector. And that was one of the reasons why I purchased the Tesla. I was like, man, I ended up doing so well in all these, ESG related SPACs. It's about time that I actually purchased an electric vehicle. So that's what I did. So I've sold those shares. I've bought back over the course of the last, I don't know, year or so. And I've gotten a nice round position, and I'm not buying anymore. But you never know, never say never. But as of right now, I'm not committing anymore. I think I have 20% or so, maybe 25% of all of my investable money in Fisker. So it's a big bet. And whatever happens. It's not going to persuade me one way or another to, stop writing articles or continue to writing articles. That's just kind of a way for me to keep a good tune of what the company's doing, because there's nothing better than, following the company day in and day out to know what's going on when you write articles. And that's why I write the articles, just to know what's going on. And there's clearly people that are interested in reading the articles. So I'm happy for that. So that's kind of fun. And we also have people, as you guys know, that love to tune in and chat about the Fisker Ocean and the stock. So that's nice as well. So we're building a nice little community here, a nice Fisker community of enthusiasts, both with the Fisker Ocean and Fisker investors. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for continuing to watch us and read our articles and watch our videos. And it's quite it's an honor. So thank you. So that leads us to the last thing of the night. That would be your questions, your Fisker questions. What do you have? Do we have any questions? I asked people to pre-submit them tonight. We didn't get one pre-submission last week. We had like 5. The week before that, we had like 10. Tonight, we have no pre-submissions, but we can take some time and talk about your questions. So let's see here. I'm going to start at the top. I don't know if you guys have been watching the chat, but I haven't looked at the chat once. If Franklin Sands, if you're still on, hello, how are you? We got some people from Florida and North Carolina. We didn't even do that bit. Maybe we should start every show by doing, hey, where's everybody from, and do that fun thing. That's always a fun thing to see where people are from.
We forgot to do the like button.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Well, we still have, some people watching. Now, if everybody could in the next, we're going to count to 3. I'll count to 3. Everybody press the like button on the count of 3. Right now it's at 16, and I'm sure we can do better than 16. We got 63 people watching right now live on the Fiskerati, the Fiskerati channel. So let's try to get it at least 63. So let's go ahead on the count of 3. Let's press the like button. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Well, I'll press it too. We all press the like button. Okay, it went from 16 to 20. Maybe we can get it to 60. Okay, we got 22. Give us some likes. Come on. We've been streaming for 62 minutes. Some of you have been watching. And subscribe to our channel. Check out the Fiskerati Club if you haven't done that. It's a way to help us support our channel, keep the site ad-free. I'm not going to go into that, but if you want to help support what we're doing, knock yourself out by joining. There's a join button actually on the Fiskerati page right there, right below the stream. You can hit the join button and learn about it and sign up for a plan. Now, Jim and Matt, have you guys done any memberships or anything like that through YouTube? Have you thought of that? Anything? Is that something?
I just opened mine.
Okay. Gotcha.
I haven't.
Matt,
Yeah.
Just opened
you
mine.
haven't. Yeah, no interest.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't know if anything's going to come from it or not, but I opened it up and left it basically to give people information of what we're doing and what's going on, and post the videos there first so they'll get to see them before everyone else on the platform. And if they get the high tier, they get a free t-shirt. Kind of like
that's
this
fun.
one.
Yeah, that's fun.
Or
Cool.
guys, whatever they want is fine. It doesn't have to be a t-shirt, but
Before we get into the questions, Matt, you have any plugs you wanna get out there?
Oh, I just want to say I have my Tesla tips hat on, but I'm gonna switch right now because I
Oh,
have two Ocean hats now.
oh, very
No,
nice.
I've been playing around with some new logos for my channel. I may do
Cool.
a switch over sometime in the next probably end of the year for my
Okay.
YouTube channel, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
people
was
will
gonna
love that.
ask, how's that going with the Tesla people with Fisker Ocean? How are your subscribers doing with that?
Well, I still have content for Tesla, and I still have a
Yeah.
ton of things planned for the channel. I actually took the last few weeks off for vacation and moved my son to college. I've done over 3,000 miles of driving with my Tesla in the last couple weeks, so been adding on the miles. Yeah, I got lots more content, and when I get the Fisker next year, we'll see. I hope everybody stays.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that I was thinking if you still have enough content to do Tesla stuff, are you getting rid of your Tesla or are you getting
I
both?
I may get rid of it. I may sell it privately, but it may not be my last Tesla, obviously. So,
Right.
you know,
You could just
Tough
branch off a new
decisions.
channel.
Tough
I could
decisions
make a
to
second
make.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure your subscribers that are watching right now can't wait to find out what you're gonna do. We don't want to put you on the spot. That's enough for
No,
now.
no.
But very nice
No,
logo.
I
Very
know how
nice
some
logo.
people feel whenever you're dedicated to one thing on a channel and then you start
Hmm.
to do something else and they're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Or it's kind of a competitive thing or they don't like them and back and forth. It's I watch the Now You Know guys, those guys. I like listening to them for their information, but they are very, very, very pro Tesla,
Just a
and
little biased.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you can't say anything about Tesla, and it's like they still talk about the Cybertruck. It's like, oh, this about the Cybertruck, and Cybertruck, and Cybertruck, and it's like they're dogging the lightning, but they're like, you don't even have a Cybertruck yet. So how can you tear down all these other manufacturers when you haven't even got one out yet? So that's my problem with them, and I sometimes I have to
Yeah.
shut them off because it just gets ridiculous. But other than that, they have great information. So I kind of just was wondering if your Tesla
Yeah.
group was kind of
Well, one thing I must say is, as having my channel for 4 years now, I've done the highs and lows of ownership. I started the channel the same week I bought the car.
oh yeah
And I do not like candy coat anything. I tell people, if you look at my history of videos, like if I've had problems, I post them. If I have had things that I've been able to fix myself, I post them too. Because if it's more information that an owner can have that's
Mhm.
of interest, why not? So
Right,
yeah, I do the good and the bad. So I'm not
good,
technically a fanboy, but
right,
yeah.
yeah.
Excellent. So I got a question. I don't think we have an answer for it, but I got a question. I've just started at the top and working way down here. Any idea of charging speed? The answer is no, but I don't know if you guys have thoughts of that. But I
Um,
don't think we have enough information for that as of right now for the Fisker Ocean.
they've just kind of reported up to 250 kilowatts, which we've talked about before that on a 400-volt system, they're going to be lucky to get 200 kilowatts. I don't think you can get much more than that. You might be able to get 250. I'm not positive, but the only way to get more than that would be going to an 800-volt system, and they haven't really mentioned that at all. But I have heard them say it was on a 400-volt system. So I just guessing, since it's going to have this 350-mile range, I'm guessing the battery is going to be a pretty good size battery, probably somewhere in the 90 kilowatt hour range. Um, So if it is able to charge at, let's say, 200 kilowatts, depending on the charging curve, I would still say you'll probably get a decent amount of charge, say, let's say 10% to 80%, probably in around 30 minutes, somewhere in that range, I would guess, 30 to 35 minutes. That'd be my best guess, anyway.
Got it. Thank you very much, Jim. We do have a question here. Does it have a rear wiper? Does the Fisker Ocean have a rear wiper? We have not seen a rear wiper on the Fisker Ocean, but I do recall Henrik, and it was a long time ago. I think it was a Twitter post. He said something about a magic wiper. I haven't heard him talk about that since that, and that was like, I don't know, it was a long time ago. It was at least a year ago, maybe longer. And magic wiper, we don't know what that is. What's the magic wiper on the rear? Maybe the wiper blade is maybe built in to the door, and when the rear window goes up and down, maybe it cleans it. Maybe there's like a supersonic sprayer or something at the top. Who knows? That is something TBD, and I'm sure one of the three of us will test it and video it, and we'll see what it is like to clean the rear window with the non-wiper that's there, the magic wiper. So TBD on that one. Going through here, somebody actually says here, I don't think there is a rear wiper. Maybe a spray nozzle for the rear camera? Who knows? And then someone says, and a rear nozzle to throw water? Okay, great. How many people actually use a rear window wiper anyway? So that was Rosanna that said that. You know, I've owned a couple cars that have a rear wiper, and the only time I do it is when there's dew on it. It's not to clean it. It's more just to get rid of the dew. And then once the dew's gone, I end up turning on the rear defroster just to make sure it stays, visible. But yeah, I use the rear and front defrosters a lot. And funny thing, actually, Matt, with the Tesla Model 3, I blast there's times a year here where it's like, right now it's hotter than heck over here in Southern California. It's like, I don't know, it feels like 80 right now in our house. And you probably can see like beads of sweat rolling off my head. But I blast the heater all the time in the Tesla Model 3, and I end up having it on the setting where it blows up above the dash and then down to the floor where my feet are, and then at me directly forward. But the heater is so good on the Tesla Model 3, it actually defrosts the window, and I don't actually have to put on the defroster just by itself. I can have it on the regular, tri-band setting, or if that's even a setting, but where it does the up, the forward, and the down. It works really well. I really like that. I blast the heat all the time, and I have the this heater seats on all the time here in Southern California, primarily at night. But yeah, it's I'm gonna love the winter package of the Fisker Ocean 1. So
how cold is it getting there that you got to have your heat on?
I have the heater on all the time. I love having the heat on in the car at night. In the day, I don't need it too much because it's so hot. Like right now, like I can't wait to just I'd love to go for a swim right now in the pool. That's how hot it is here right now.
I don't think I've used my heater since March. So yeah.
Wow, you're lucky. You're lucky.
But we have pretty extreme seasons. So we get 100 in the summer and not super cold in the winter. We get in the 20s.
Okay.
So
where are you at, Matt?
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. So I'm over here in Illinois. So yeah, we see 90 to 100 degrees here, and we'll see, up probably the lowest that I've seen in the last few years. We've gotten down to -5, but most of the time we sit around 20 to 30 degrees during the winter. So, but a heater right now, no.
Only when we're out and about. Right now, we have an excessive heat warning here in Southern California. It's 77 right now. It's going to be 80 something tomorrow. Watch out.
Now, my wife will use the heated seats with the air conditioner. So.
Oh, that's fun. I love rolling the windows. So I'm going to love California mode because I do love rolling the windows down and having the heat on and the heat blasting. So I don't know why I do that. I've done that forever.
Actually, I've done that when I used to have a convertible.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that always annoy me when I see a convertible is people driving with the top down and the windows up.
They don't like the I guess the wind turbulence. Some people, don't like that.
Then just
I
get a
don't.
regular
Yeah,
car.
I know it is kind of silly, isn't it?
That's funny. That is funny. All right, I'm rolling down. I'm almost to the bottom here. Has a black box. I don't know what that is. That question. Okay, probably shouldn't have read that one.
Oh, I think they were talking about the ADAS video
okay,
that
got
you were
it.
showing.
Got it. Good.
Oh,
Good.
hey, I haven't seen. Somebody asked what the infotainment screen was, if it's OLED or LED, and I haven't seen anything
No,
say exactly what it is.
I
Yeah,
haven't
there
seen
hasn't been
anything either.
anything written up about that yet. I've gone through all the questions. I don't see anything else other than that one you just mentioned there, OLED or LED. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I see here. Wow, that was the easy one. Cool. We got the likes up to 38, so we got more than double there. If you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe. If you guys like what we're doing, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. It's always fun to have an audience as we chat. The next thing that we're going to be at is the Fisker. We're going to see the Fisker Ocean over at the Fully Charged in San Diego. I'm actually quite excited on that. As I went through the chat there, I didn't see, maybe I missed it. No one actually called anything out, like take a photo or a video of this. Matt or Jim, if there's anything you want to see, I'm happy to take it, including other vehicles that might be there. There's supposedly going to be, from what I read, like 100 electrical vehicles at that show. So it's going to be quite big in the San Diego Convention Center. I don't know if they're going to use the whole convention center. The San Diego Convention Center is massive. So if they use the whole thing, that would be quite incredible. But I've read there's going to be 100 electrical vehicles in addition to like solar panels and other clean tech, clean energy technology. So that'll be interesting to go to. And I'm going to go on both. For sure, I'm going on Saturday. If I can't get everything I want to get done on Saturday, I'm going to show up on Sunday as well, probably by myself, and take photos and videos and maybe chat with the Fisker Ocean staff, or the staff at Fisker. Yeah. So maybe we'll see Henrik Fisker there.
Make sure you take some time to enjoy it too, and not just like work.
Yeah.
I know how I am too, and I went to the Chicago Auto Show and I recorded everything all day, and then it got done, and I'm like, I really didn't enjoy the cars and checking them out and looking at them because I was too busy trying to, record them and make video. Yeah. So just make sure you take yourself some time to enjoy it.
Yeah. I'll probably write a blog or a post or article while I'm there.
Rosanna really wants to see underneath the seats. So make sure you check under there, and if there's a water bottle under there for her, make sure you grab one for her. She still wants that water bottle.
Yeah, all you need is 2 referrals in order to get that water bottle. So what you should do, Rosanna, if you haven't already done so, I don't think you have, but go to our forum and type in, or go to the introduction section and post, introduce yourself to everybody and post your referral code in the introduction section, because I do know that people go in there, and I actually, when people write in and ask questions about the Fisker Ocean, sometimes I'll pull that link and I'll pull somebody's promo code or referral code, and I'll give it to them. So go in there and do that if you haven't done it. And that might help you get 2 Fisker Ocean referrals, where you'll get that water bottle and hat that I don't really often wear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have the hat?
Matt, did you end up getting any of the? Did you get the Fisker Ocean hat?
They're supposed to send me a hat and I guess the water bottle.
Okay.
They contacted me a couple weeks ago. I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
So I guess it's coming, and I'm halfway to getting the T-shirt. So
very nice.
Should I disappoint him with the hat?
No, he might actually get the good hat.
Oh, if he gets the black one,
They asked me which one I wanted. I picked the black hat. So
wow. Yeah, there you go, Jim.
You got that. Looks like a yacht hat or something, isn't it? Like
it does look like a yacht hat. It does. It looks
I got that I emailed them and told them that I wanted my black hat. I was so
yeah. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they'll go back and they'll give me a new black hat. I wear the black hat all the time, but I'm not wearing that racing stripe hat.
I would too.
It's too wild for me. I'm not a adventurous wild hat wear. That's nice. It's very nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So, and we're looking for them to hopefully, we provided some feedback. Maybe they'll revamp the referral program. That would be kind of neat for them to do. And, with 58,000 reservations now, I think it's harder and harder to find people who want to reserve the Fisker Ocean who haven't already done so. Yeah, clearly there's, billions of people on the planet, but it's there's only so many people that we know that we can say, hey, use our referral code. But if we are referring people, it would be cool to have other rewards in the program and maybe a leaderboard. I thought it would be fun to have a leaderboard now that I've done it for just 2 months and 3 days here. So it's kind of neat. I don't know if you guys read any of the feedback I provided. We actually asked people from one of these live streams to provide feedback from an article I wrote, and feedback from a forum. And there was some good, maybe 20 different points that Fisker could use potentially to improve the program. So that'll be neat to see if any of that feedback is implemented here in the near future. So more to come there. That's exciting. Don't see any questions, but that's all I got. That's all I got, guys. I'll do one final go here. Let me just look at a couple things. Maybe there's something new real quick, but I don't think so. I think we did it. I think we did our mid-week recap. I think we've done it. Yep, that's all I've seen. Cool. That's it. I just went to a few different sites, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I don't see anything new. Oh, there is one thing. Too late. We're not going to do it. I actually wanted to show, and it's kind of we're kind of running out of time here, but I thought it was actually really neat. On Saturday, the company ended up sharing that email with Jeff McFetteridge, who was the artist that painted that Fisker Ocean art car. I thought that was actually kind of cool. That was something new that we haven't actually talked about. And we saw the video posted on Friday, did a quick article, posted it out there. And the vehicle's actually at a automotive museum over in Los Angeles right now on display. So when we head up there, I think it's going to be there for a good amount of time. So when we go up to go look at the Fisker Ocean Experience Center, the Fisker Experience Center, the Fisker Lounge, later this year, we'll stop off at the Automotive Museum and take some photos of that and check that out as well. Unless we're up in LA for some other reason, can't imagine going up there unless Fisker invites us to go to HQ to go do a sit down interview with Henrik Fisker, maybe Gita Fisker. I'd love to chat with Gita Fisker. That would be a fun one. But yeah, that's. That art car was pretty cool. So if you guys haven't seen it, check that out. I think at the 4 minute mark, the artist actually talks about the Fisker logo, and it's pretty cool to hear an artist talk about the logo design from an artist's perspective, and how he talks about, he just basically deconstructs the logo and talks about it. I thought that was actually probably the biggest highlight. I mentioned that on Twitter today, as Fisker ended up sharing photos of Jeff painting the vehicle, and I actually had those photos up for us to look at, but it slipped my mind. I wondered, actually, I've done some, I don't know if you guys do DIY projects at home. I know you do some stuff on your Tesla, Matt, but I do a lot of DIY stuff around the house, and I've done a lot of, I've painted walls and touched up paint and things like that. And I've never done a good job, like where you end up putting like that painter's tape and you do like a straight line.
I use that all the time.
Pull it off. Yeah, like
It's
anytime
just
I
straight
pull
lines.
it off.
Yeah.
Anytime I pull the line, no matter how tight I put it on there, and I've tried like frog tape and the blue tape and all sorts of tape, it never comes out. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But none of our walls have any
I know
of
the
that
problem.
right now.
Sometimes if you wait too long, it may seep under, and
Okay.
you got to do it fairly quick when it's wet.
Got it. So he had tape on the
little
part.
tip.
It was like yellow tape. Yeah, go for it. Give us a tip.
So when you're using painter's tape and you're taping off a line and you want to keep a straight line, take a credit card out, run it along that edge, and press down real tight along that edge, and then paint.
Okay.
And don't only give it about 5 or 10 minutes a chance to just start to dry, and then start pulling it. And don't pull at an angle, pull straight away. That should keep that from bleeding through underneath.
All right. Yeah, it was interesting though. He had tape on the car. It was like a yellow tape, maybe special for metal or whatever. But if you looked at that vehicle, that art car, the lines are so crisp. So I thought that was quite impressive. And he painted the whole thing by hand. That's to me that was crazy.
Right.
So anyhow,
did get a question in, and we may have missed it earlier. Kevin is wondering when the actual 3D configurator will open.
We don't know the exact date. I remember last hearing that it was mid-October. I think those were the exact words that Henrik said, and then the test drives were supposed to be, first week of November. And that question obviously wasn't asked, but the configurator mid-October is what I remember him saying last. And that'll be exciting because that's when we'll know the definitive answer on, what things are going to cost. What are the upgrade, what's going to be upgradable? How much is this feature or that feature going to cost you? Is, if you're going for the sport and you want to get, Big Sur Blue, is that going to cost you more? How much is it going to cost you if it costs more? So we'll know all those things. We've speculated time and time again on, different feature upgrades and, how much paint will cost. And we've taken that from other different sites that offers various features to try to guesstimate and all that. But we don't know what Fisker's going to do. Maybe they're going to do something different, or maybe they'll end up doing what some other car companies have done. So mid-October, that'll be a fun one. That's going to be a blast actually to play with that and to do all the configurations and write about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what the upcharge for the 80 AS system will be like, going from what you might get in the Sport or the Ultra and going up to that premium package. So that's going to be one of the main things.
It wouldn't surprise me if they end up keeping some of the things off of the configurator that might be over-the-air upgrades in the future. I could see them maybe not having them. For example, when I configured my Tesla Model 3, I didn't get an option that I recall to upgrade to the performance boost. But after I purchased the vehicle, I could spend the extra, I don't know what it was, $2,000, $2,500 to do the performance boost. And I did it. I figured if I already bought this is the most expensive car I've ever purchased, I may as well go with the full self-driving and the performance boost just so I can experience the whole thing. And it's quite fun. It's definitely quite fun. I don't know if it was worth the money, but it was fun. Yeah, the novelty's kind of worn off, but I actually keep it on all the time now. I keep the acceleration boost, or whatever the hell they call it. I keep it on all the time because I love just punching the accelerator at the line to get around cars and things like that.
So I got a question for the Teslas. Most vehicles, whenever you go from eco to normal to sport or whatever, and as long as you're driving, it stays in that mode. Now, when you shut it off, do the Teslas stay in that what you had it on?
Yes.
Okay, well that's cool because most of them, revert back to normal all the time.
It does actually even one better. You can save it to each profile. So you have a driver profile. So for example, my wife doesn't like heavy regen. So I set hers for light regen, and a couple other features that she likes, and it saves it for that person, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And the Ocean will have that too. So it did mention that it has driver profiles. So that will be nice.
That's cool.
That'll be nice. Yeah.
That'll be cool.
We're going to be
that'll
sharing.
nice.
Yeah, we'll be most likely selling the Tesla Model 3 to fund the Fisker Ocean 1 purchase. So we'll be still a one-car family, and the driver profiles would certainly be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, when I test drove the Ford Lightning, our ID4 doesn't have like true one pedal driving. So it goes down to about 2 to 3 miles per hour, and then you have like a little function. And I'm so used to that, I got out of that and got in the Ford Lightning, and the Ford Lightning is full one pedal. I mean, it's like I'm sitting there. I had to press on the gas, and then it finally took off. And when I let off, I mean, it threw me forward. I was like, "Whoa, what is going on with this?" It was way stronger than what the ID4 has, and that was just a trip trying to get used to that. I mean, it was like I'm used to taking off the pedal and letting it go all the way down to almost stopping, and then having to put my foot on the brake to completely stop. To this thing was just like completely stopping me, and I'm like, this is strange now. This is really weird.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest adjustment of going from a gas motor vehicle to an electric vehicle is that regen and golf cart like feel. Like if you ever want to feel like we have 70% of the people that are buying the Fisker Ocean have never maybe driven an electric vehicle, or this will be their first electric vehicle. If you've driven, like, I think that video, when we do that first video of hey, you're a new electrical vehicle owner, maybe it's not driving a Tesla. Maybe we go to the golf course and we get a golf cart and we show what it's like to drive a golf cart. And it's like, that's big to me. That's what it feels like, other than the Tesla Model 3 is obviously, I don't know how many times more powerful than a golf cart, but that's what it felt like to me. It was like, oh my God, this is just like driving a golf cart.
And if you don't get used to driving it that way, you're gonna make everybody in the car sick.
I get that all the time.
Well, see, I play a game with my wife, and sometimes it drives my wife nuts a little bit. But I'll come up and I'll wait till the last minute till I think that I can time it just right to let off and let it roll right up to this thing and come and stop. And I'm like, woohoo, did it. So I do that every time, and it's a little game I play with myself.
I do the same thing. I didn't think it was a game. That's just how I've But you do have the ability, at least in the Tesla Model 3, to turn off the regen and to do like a roll and all that stuff, right?
Totally off. It's not totally reduced,
off, okay.
But it's
reduced.
It's not as, say, I think Hyundai and Kia does a lot more, almost like a coasting.
Okay.
And you can adjust it with the they have like paddles, regen paddles. It's much more adjustable. With the Tesla, it's either moderate regen or high regen. Like the only way it's no regen, I think, is if the battery is over 90%. And they've even updated that with a recent over-there update that actually blends the brakes with the regen, the lack of regen, so it feels the same whether it's no regen or not. Cool. It automatically does the brakes. That was just the last month. And I had that happen on my trip. I charged up to 100%, and I'm like, whoa, the regen is, no, it's not regen. They made the brakes feel like the regen. So it's interesting. It's probably safer in a way, because then the car acts the same whether it's full or not full. So
got it.
Yeah. And see, the ID4, we have a drive or a brake. So the B does it's full regen, and then the D is more of a coasting conventional vehicle would roll. There is slight regen there, not enough that you just feel like you're coasting or you're rolling. And so my wife kind of drives with that a lot, and then just kind of turns it on when we go in town. So it's kind of a preference of what people want to drive. I did a couple range videos and efficiency videos and stuff like that, trying to go through driving with the D or the B, and each setting, driving through town and on the interstate and stuff. But So it's really just a preference thing, and I think Volkswagen did it to try it because they wanted this to be the vehicle that first-time EV users got into and were able to actually put that in that drive button mode, that they could feel more comfortable in there until they kind of got themselves used to using regen and stuff like that. So that's the only reason it's there. I mean, and Tesla really has no reason for that. If you got a Tesla, then you probably know all about what it does. So they've never really been too concerned with it, I don't think.
Yeah, I recently I've noticed that, and you guys probably there's a thing. I've ended up noticing that with the last couple updates from the Tesla full self-driving, that the definition of the vehicles that are on the display actually are a lot more higher definition now. They're a lot sharper, and I don't know if that's just a UI thing or what it is, but the vehicle has gotten a lot better going by semi trucks now on the freeway, for at least our vehicle. And I don't know what version off the top of my head we're on, but we're on like the beta. We're signed up for like the latest and greatest stuff. So it's actually made a lot of a difference here in the last probably month or two with the full self-driving. So it'd be interesting to see what capabilities the Fisker Ocean is going to have over time, as we're going to get over-the-air updates and maybe improvements around maxing out and leveraging all the cameras and the sensors to do neat stuff. We don't know what that is yet, but can't wait. It's exciting times. So cool, guys. There's still so many people hanging out. There's 58 people at least I'm seeing on here, but I think we got to go. I think it's almost a couple of people's bedtimes probably on this on the East Coast to Midwest. You stay up quite late, I noticed, Jim. You're in the forums quite late. So you're active. You're a trooper. You hang out quite late.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Yeah.
Same with you, Matt. You're out there doing.
Yeah,
all sorts of
I'm a night owl, so.
Yeah, I can tell. But I'm up too. It's hard to fall asleep. It's always fun to look at this stuff.
Hey, I see somebody has a comment. Do the mirrors fold in? I think it's supposed to, right?
Of the Fisker Ocean fold in this weekend, and somebody ended up saying, "Boy, that's not very far." It was Henrik Fisker's test vehicle, and it was folded in. I forgot what I think it was, like the passenger side. It didn't look like it folded in that much, but who knows if who knows if somebody smashed it with their elbow and it folded in a little or what. I don't know. We haven't seen an actual video of it fold in. We don't know if it's manual pull in or if it's automatic. However, if we looked at that, I don't have the photo up anymore, but if we looked at the little side door control panel thing, like where you have the windows up and down, there may have been a switch in there to do something with the mirrors. I haven't looked at close enough. I don't think I've actually. So that's a good photo for me to take, is like a full on picture of the windows, and I'll ask the people, hey, can you show me the windows, the mirrors fold in and out? I'm gonna see what they'll do when we go to the fully charged live, and maybe they'll be like, we can't do anything. Like I heard from the person who took the professional photos. He asked them if they could fold down the rear seats so he could get a picture of the rear seats folded down, and they told him, no, these seats don't fold down in this particular prototype. They're stationary. So there's going to be limitations to the vehicle based on when it was built. So we're gonna ask those same questions, and we'll probably get the same answers. Hopefully, we get the same answers. But yeah, I can't wait. It's like a kid in a candy store. It's going to be fun. I just hope
as for the mirrors, like on the ID4, they fold in, but when they fold, it still only seems like they did pull in about maybe 2 inches in. So it may just be the size of the mirror may make it look like it's just not pulled in very far, but I don't think they really pull in that far anyway. We just use it basically for to know that we locked our car. So they when they're, we can look back and be like, oh yeah, they're folded in. We can go. Sometimes
that's
I even have to walk back over there to see if they are folded in because I can't tell at a distance away.
Yeah. I suppose we could do the same thing in the Tesla. I have it automatically lock when we walk away, and then the horn beeps, which is nice. But folding the mirrors in as well. I don't really use the mirror folding feature too often, but we're not parking in super tight places. I still park the vehicle as far away from other cars as possible, and I'll probably continue to do the same thing with the Fisker Ocean. And I'm actually quite nervous if the Fisker Ocean is going to actually, if there's going to be a lot of clearance getting into our tandem garage. So we have a garage where two vehicles are in front of one another, and the garage door entryway is quite the Tesla. Even there's maybe 2 or 3 inches on each side. So it's going to be very interesting, and that might be hey, I have to fold in the mirrors in order to go in and out of the garage. Probably not, but that'll be a fun one to experiment with. And the funny thing too, with the solar roof here, Southern California, the solar sky roof, I'm not even going to benefit from it too much because the car's going to be parked in the garage the whole time. So that's kind of goofy, but that's just the way we don't have a driveway. We have got to park the car in the garage or up in guest parking or on the street, and I'm not going to park it on the street. So I only get a benefit when we're out and about. So
we're getting a bunch of questions at the end here.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Jim. Do you know what is the adjustable suspension on the Ocean? Is that air suspension? Go for it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I remember. I'm almost certain somebody at Fisker answered the question. There's no air suspension. I don't remember how they answered it, but I'm almost certain there was not air suspension. I'll actually do an article on that at some point.
I'm gonna, like I said, I was gonna work on a video about Magna and Fisker and see what if I can find out about the suspension and what things Magna has put into it. I would assume that it's some sort of a dampening system. It could be like the magnetic ride that's in the Mach-E. Could be something similar to that. And then there's some that just have an adjustable dampening system, like the ID4 GTX over in Europe gets a active adjustable dampening system, but in the US we don't get that. So it's like,
here's a quote real quick. Fisker said, Henrik Fisker, "It handles like a sports car. It's unbelievable, though it will only have a conventional suspension, so no air ride or magnetic." So there was actually a really good clip that I remember him posting from the 2021 LA Auto Show talking about it, but that was on Twitter, and we don't have access to Twitter anymore. But yeah, I do remember him talking about that.
We do have some pictures from the New York show with the suspension on some of the photos. Some people got down on the ground and shot up underneath, and there's some good pictures of looks like aluminum struts, and I can't see coils, but there's some pictures there. So I guess we'll be getting more.
Yeah, we'll get some more. Any experience with matte finishes? It looks great, but I understand they're very tricky and potentially expensive to maintain. Anything special about the Blue Sur matte finish? Well, I think what we know is Henrik said that somebody asked him about paint protection film. I think it was PPF, paint protection film. And he said that it wasn't needed on the Big Sur Blue because it's OEM paint, but he didn't elaborate on that. We actually reached out to the company, waiting for any sort of feedback from them about that particular comment. But that's I in that article that I talked about the Fisker car alarm and the paint protection film. And one other thing I can't remember. I actually linked to 3M's website. 3M actually makes a paint protection film that goes under the name of, I want to say it was like Scotchgard. So the same Scotchgard that like I have, believe it or not, like here in Southern California, I always end up having right by my desk for when it's cold here, my Ugg boots. So I have my Ugg boots here in because that's what you do here. It's freezing. You got to have the Ugg boots on, right? So on those, I actually have Scotchgard, and that actually repels water and other debris, keeps the sheep skin nice and new. And that's what the paint protection film is supposed to do, also made by 3M and Scotchgard. And the neat thing about their website, they actually had a list of, I don't know, 1,000 different, it seemed like 1,000. I scrolled through like page after page, like 1,000 different vendors here in the United States, at least, that actually would install the paint protection film in your area, as well as like tinted windows and other window treatments. All the products made, in this case, by 3M. So what would you do with the matte finish? There's going to be the Big Sur Blue, and there's going to be Stealth Green in 2023. According to Henrik Fisker, you don't need to get the paint protection film. I know, Jim, you mentioned, not Jim, Matt, you mentioned that you may have already done that, right? You've done that on a previous car, or
yeah, I've had PPF on 3 cars. The first car I had it done was back in 2002, so that was when it was like really new. But I swear by it. I love getting it done. It really helps. I don't do the full car. I do the front, which is the hood, bumper, the areas that get the most like possible damage on the highway. Rock chips, bugs, stuff like that. It just makes it like the 2 trips that I just took in the last 2 weeks. I just take a squeegee and squeegee off the front. I don't have to worry about scratching anything because it like self heals, and it's super easy to keep clean.
So do you, with that, do you actually ever get nicks on it, or does it?
If it's a big enough rock, it can leave a nick that won't heal. But it's pretty. You hardly notice it. I think it keeps everything easy to clean, and if it is something that really would damage enough, you could take off that piece and replace it. But the paint underneath would be in good condition, so it would save you from having to get a repair or paint done on it. So a lot of times you'll have to have the whole hood redone if you got major damage on it. So
you would do this option here, this partial coverage?
Yeah, I would do the middle one.
The full frontal coverage.
Yeah, it's got the hood, the fenders, and the bumper.
Yeah.
It's usually around, it really depends where you live, but around $2,000. The full car is usually around $4,000 to $5,000. So it's really expensive to get the full car. And also I got ceramic on the rest of the car. So ceramic on everything is like a super wax. It's basically like you don't have to wax the car for like several years. So you get it checked out.
I wax over that paint protection film. It's just
it's basically like almost a semi-permanent wax over you can use it on just the paint itself or on the PPF.
Interesting.
Yep.
And did that PPF ever change the color of the paint, or is it just so clear?
No,
it's like...
I have clear on mine. It's a glossy clear, and you can't tell the difference between the areas where it's installed, and even after 4 years, it hasn't turned any color. Or
if you were to rub your fingernail on it, would it end up feeling like when you get to the PPF? Is it like, oh, here it is?
Well,
like
it's on panels. They do it by panel, so it's not like it's a a certain section of it. You would see where it starts. They do the whole panel. Yeah, so you really don't feel it, and they wrap it around the edges.
Okay.
So you don't even see it.
Got it.
So we talked about before with that PPF, there's so many different ones now. You can get a stealth PPF, which basically makes your paint look matte finish, which is pretty cool. If you decide you don't like the gloss, it could change the way your vehicle looks completely. A lot of people have done it with even like the blue colors and stuff like that, because when you do that and you take that gloss away, you can really see the body lines. and it makes it look so nice. That's why the Big Sur Blue looks so much different than the glossy pictures that we see, because it's actually showing the body lines, because there's no glare, there's no reflection in those creases and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool, and if I ever get a matte paint, I would probably put a paint protective film over it, because I don't want to have to deal with that matte paint. So I would cover it, be my choice, but I probably would not choose that. Now I might get the gloss paint, like we were looking at the silver right now. I don't know with the 2023 colors what colors we may choose, but I would I might do a stealth PPF over the whole car and give it that matte look finish.
Cool. Very neat. Well, I think that's all the time we got for today. Thank you all for coming on and watching us and listening to us. Thank you very much. And we'll maybe do this again next week and go from there. So, all right, everybody, you take care and have a good night.
All right. See you, everybody.